this years.
We are on the Conservative parents with liberal kids get ready to leave the space station shortly. Share, share, share.
Like.
Follow, like, share. We go do that right quick. How was your guys' Thanksgiving?
Oh my God, Serge. If you believe in love and pain at the same time,
Yeah.
that was my Thanksgiving.
That's called masochism.
I was going to say it's an S&M. He had the S&M Thanksgiving.
Is that what it was?
That was, well, I don't know if my sister and brother-in-law would consider it S&M.
They were dominatrix.
All right, so
How'd we start off there?
That's how we're jumping
right
back
away.
into it.
Right away, comedy gold.
Jumping back into
I thought we were
it.
talking about turkey and stuffing
We're
and
gonna go
gravy.
there. We're gonna go there.
And you're
We're gonna
talking
go there.
about
But
sex.
because this show is all about bonding with the audience. The audience, excuse me.
The audience.
I don't have
Only
have
one.
More than one.
Only one.
You know,
Still at zero
Only
right
one.
now.
Still at 0. I didn't advertise because I didn't think we were going to make it this week, to be honest with you. But anyway,
You didn't?
no, I was in trial. You know what I was doing.
I
professionally.
do, but all right.
I had my last
Thanks for
hearing
telling
today,
me.
and
Last.
I wasn't sure I was going to make it today. I didn't want to say no, but and here we are.
Hey, I have
So-
a question. Can I interrupt you in your
Yes, you
nonsense
fucker.
story right at this point? Serge,
What's up?
I just want to make sure I'm being heard. I like sometimes listen to the and it seems like I can't hear. I feel like I'm really having to strain.
You're the minority voice.
Well, I am.
Try to
I am the
stay
lone minority here.
Within this pocket,
I'm the only one who's bald, so there.
sometimes we kind of lean.
Do I need to lean in? Do I?
No, you just
Because he doesn't. He's over there, and I hear him fine, and I'm over here like I'm trying to be heard.
There you go.
All right.
I got you.
So I gotta have.
All right, you're boring me. You're done.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye. All right.
What's up?
All right. You were talking. I thought we were.
No, you
Weren't
interrupted
we,
me.
weren't we talking about turkey
you
and
bastard.
stuffing?
Yeah, we were
don't
talking
get to
about
interrupt
turkey.
me.
Turkey,
To make a point
stuffing,
and then say, what about you,
leftovers.
Richard?
What about you? What about you and your dominatrix turkey? Tell me all about it.
I swear, if you distracted me long enough to get my thing, not to post.
It's
Okay,
all about
good, it
posting.
did.
I was just asking a technical question.
Holy crap! Are we doing this without posting?
No, I just posted it right
Gobble gobble.
Because my
Come on,
phone, the
let's go.
screen timed
All right.
out, and then I go back
want
in.
to briefly, and you can leap off from where I let go.
All right, thank
All
you.
right. So many families over Thanksgiving, they meet and okay, is it going to be weird? And politics is weird. We're a polarized society.
Yeah.
All right. So just to bring home my experience a little bit, I have a son that goes to Emory University as a freshman, and that's in Atlanta. I have a sister that lives in Atlanta, and she leans left of center, and my brother-in-law, her husband, leans to the left of her. I'm not going to say he's far left because he has some conservative principles, but that's the dynamic. My son, as we know, the purpose of the show is because I have very liberal children,
Kids, sure.
kids.
God.
No, but I wasn't
Yeah,
namesaking the
I'm
show.
just saying you should have been. No, always promoting.
Yes. And what's the name of the show?
Conservative parents with liberal kids.
Yes. And I often say children, and I screw that up. Kids, children, they're not exactly interchangeable because the show is liberal kids, not children.
I was confused. I thought maybe
But anyway, moving
conservative parents with liberal goats. Maybe.
Yes,
All
right.
yeah.
So I knew there was a little bit of a challenge, and we gotta we gotta be like most families over Thanksgiving if they're gonna make the effort to meet, because we know the forces in power said don't travel.
Did you wear your mask?
No,
Good.
but we went to my sister in Atlanta, and
The audience is about to blow us up. Go ahead.
any event. So, long story short, I'm sure that many families had this problem, which we start off with the agreement. What's the agreement, Serge?
Don't talk
Zero-
politics?
Yeah, it's real
At
zero
Thanksgiving?
politics. Not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Not this year.
All right, but my son, God bless him, I love him. I love all my kids, but my youngest son, who's at Emory, is actually a campaign fundraiser,
Oh.
active campaign fundraiser for John Ossoff against. That'd be
Loeffler.
is it Loeffler against it? No, she's
against Warnock.
Warnock.
Purdue.
Purdue. Okay. But my son, God bless him, because he's extremely brilliant and well studied, and he researches, and he's not like just, I'm feeling this way.
He's not just a follower. He's
Yeah, right.
He's a believer.
He's a believer.
Yeah.
All right, so he and I we had Thanksgiving dinner, Serge. No debates.
There you go.
We were like a
a
lovely,
family.
like oh my God,
It's amazing.
my sweet potato pie was
Yeah.
and everybody cooked something and it was delicious. We retire to the kitchen table, not the dining table. We go into the kitchen area, and Keegan and I, my son, start discussing politics in a friendly way.
There you go.
Because I know you never got to meet my son, and
No.
I've talked about him many, many, many times over the couple of years. He's brilliant. It's not like he's the typical teenager who's just like roped into some, what's the word I'm looking for? Propaganda, right? It's like he's roped into it. He's been in speech and debate club for 5 years, and he thinks through things, and he's analyzed things, and he's concluded things. I don't agree with him, but he's thought through everything. It's not like it's frivolous. So he and I were discussing things at the kitchen table. Very, very lovely. It was not in any way, shape, or form angry, disrespectful, and I was actually admiring my son for educating me on certain things, like you do to me, Serge. You
Yeah.
do every now and then.
Yeah.
Educate me. And then came the moment where everything shifted
Oh, there's a shift.
because the subject turned to abortion.
Oh, touchy.
So I said
Let's talk
to
about
those
abortion.
who were in my presence, which were only 3 other people, I said, I will. No, my brother-in-law, my sister's husband.
It wasn't.
He asked me like, "What's your feelings on like that issue?" And I said, "I'll tell you how I concluded to be like how I come down on the subject, but I don't want to debate it. It's not a matter of like we already agreed and we're not going to debate things and get angry and all that. But if you're going to ask me why I feel a certain way, I'll tell you. But please, it's not a launching point for an argument."
Exactly.
And he said, "Okay."
And that was it?
So I then gave my opinion. Well, I mean, ugh.
Which was wrong.
No,
To give my opinion was wrong, or my opinion was wrong
Your opinion was clearly wrong.
to him.
I think
To certain
the
people.
topic of conversation.
I know. But he asked me, and I said, if you can promise me we're not going to debate the issue. And you're asking me, like, because we're relatives. We've been relatives for 15 years. You're going to ask me what I feel about a subject. I'll tell you, but it's not a matter of, like, let's debate it. I know you think the opposite. That's why you're asking me. And I'll tell you
And
why.
you let him suck you in anyway.
All right, so this is how it went down, sir.
Oh.
My God. And actually, when I left Atlanta, we still left very loving families.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't want to let the audience believe that like things.
You got 2. There's 2 now. It's official audience.
Why don't we?
Oh,
have
wait,
video?
no, it's gone.
Where's our
Because
video?
we haven't officially started the show yet.
That's right.
Come
You wanna
on,
do that?
you're.
Let me drop the
You're
intro. Let me
stopped?
drop the
Yes,
intro.
Let's do the
Drop
intro.
Let's drop a bomb on the liberals today.
Woo!
Let's drop a bomb and blow them all away. We don't need no crazy coops. We put up a fan too long.
Because you talked about the audience.
Oh, the audience was like, "Oh, it's only supposed to be."
It's only supposed to be 1? All right, continue. Right before the fight starts to ask you about abortion.
All right. So
At Thanksgiving.
at
Appropriate
Thanksgiving,
time.
This is a class, but this is a classic family moment, really, for all these families that have gotten together and you realize there's political differences, right? It's like, what do we do? It's gonna happen. All right. So this is partly to explain my view. because this was the honest appraisal of what went down. So I told my brother-in-law, hey, I remember a moment in my life where I went from liberal to conservative. It was a moment. It crystallized in me. And it boiled around the subject of abortion. And I was married, not very long. My wife was pregnant, and we went to a OB and got a sonogram. And she was 13 weeks along, and I looked at the sonogram and I said to myself, that's a human being. And I just had the moment. That's a human being, and I can't say that the day before it wasn't a human being, or the week before it wasn't a human being, or 13 weeks when it was conceived it wasn't a human being. I just had that moment. My mind made up that I can't be the arbiter of deciding when it became a human being. So I decided in my soul that is a human being. But I also simultaneously decided people are not going to agree with me. People are going to decide that it's not a human being until it's viable. Mm-hmm. And so I became comfortable in that the debate was always going to be divided that way. I'm going to define a human being as the moment of conception. That's me. That's how I just, the moment I saw that, it was moment of conception. If someone wants to tell me they believe it's something different than that, it's somewhere further along the line, and we can debate where along the line it is. But if it's further along, I get it. For me, that's a life in being. As soon as you're conceived, it's equal to someone that is alive, breathing, and on earth. And if that entity is equal to anyone that's living and breathing on earth, then they're entitled to the same protections by law as someone that's living on earth.
Agreed.
And it becomes very simple. It's like, okay, if you disagree with that, then we disagree on everything else flowing from that. And I can respect it. So we don't have to debate it. But the moment I said that, Serge, the moment I said that at a Thanksgiving dinner or over coffee after Thanksgiving
dessert.
Thanksgiving dessert. My brother-in-law said, and I'm interested in Serge's response to this, then how can you dare say that you're in favor of war and trying to why are we in Afghanistan? Why I mean,
thought we were just
and
talking
I'm like, wait a minute. What does one have to do the other? And he was explaining to me, he's like, people die in war.
Yeah.
Innocent people die in war. And you're protecting all about the innocent life, but you're okay with eradicating lives in foreign countries that have nothing to do with the ideology that's against America. And so I said to him, I don't want to get into a debate. I told you before I said this, it's not about debate.
There you go. Good move.
All I can tell you, this is the part I didn't tell you beforehand.
Oh, you just wanted to set me up. Here we
set
go.
you up. I said, all I can tell you is that what you just said was a series of false equivalents.
True.
Right? And so I can debate what you just said, but we're not here to debate. And you asked me how I believe, so I gave you my belief. And we're okay, right, brother? He would not let it go. Now, long story short, by the time I left the next morning, we were good.
That's good.
Okay, everything was repaired. So I don't want to make it sound like, oh my God, another family got destroyed as a result of this argument. But it is to the point, right? This is like the part of the show. It's to the point, why can't we just discuss things and not argue things?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It's just like
diminished,
right?
call names.
I respect his view.
Yeah.
I really don't have any problem with his view. But when I ask you ahead of time, I don't want to argue your view. I just want to express how I feel. I know how you feel, and we're done with it. Let's go on and have dessert.
I have two feelings on that. Arguing, I don't think serves any real purpose, because once you have someone who's entrenched and another person who's entrenched arguing, neither are going to result in a conversion of ideas.
It's never
I
about
think
persuasion.
what's really what's more beautiful and I think more appropriate is what you said. Just understand why I think that. And he should have instead of attacking you, looked inward and explained his reasons for the way he believes. And that is where we find our agreements. We find the things that we can find those little bits of agreements that we can form bonds over. But when it becomes an all-out war, when everything is, well, you say this and then you ramp it up and it's this and that and this and this, you start drawing battles, and it's an argument. It's no longer a battle of persuasion. It's a battle of one-upsmanship, and that's unhealthy.
Now, we've advanced our discussion this far into our show. Only a few minutes, actually, really. But before we describe to the audience
16.
What the show is about.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I developed the show, right, Serge? And I said it to you, and I know you were all about the money, Serge.
That's it.
You didn't care
Yes,
about
just look at this guy.
here.
Look at this
like,
guy.
hey, yeah, a new show. Let's do a new show. Okay, no.
Trying to get rich. Let's go.
All right. So I told Serge, and this is true, I think this is going on in thousands and thousands of families across the country,
Agreed.
in which the philosophy of a parent starts to vary from the philosophy of the children. And it could be in a single family household. It could be in a regular, loving marital relationship family. But their kids are getting information from sources that are different from what the older parents may be used to. And it results in a divide. Mm-hmm. Unless the parent, like Jason, I admire you because you started from the beginning. Like, you know what? It's important to me. My most fervent beliefs, and I want to eloquate to my children.
Inculcate.
Is
what I use.
Right. Be able to explain to my children and say, this is how I've come to my belief system, and I want you to think about what I'm telling you and essentially agree with me, but you want to tell them, this is how I've come to my conclusions.
Right.
I want you to agree.
Right. Well,
And
when I explain, when in the course of the, as we're rearing our children, I try really hard not only to explain what I believe, but the why, and I think that's very important, because when you just say what you believe over and over again, believe this, believe this, believe this, believe this, that only gets you so far. That's like rote memory. But that's not healthy.
That's the definition of indoctrination.
Yeah, that's indoctrination.
Right.
What we try to do is we try to bring our children along with the understandings, the ideas, the ideals as to why we think that. And, of course, that has a lot to do with our faith. That has a lot to do with our worldview. And we are trying to grow that in them.
Right.
Now, I can't guarantee what my kids will believe. I just don't. And I don't try to force them. But I'm hopeful that I will feel successful if my children hold beliefs which they can intelligently defend based upon
right. So
their
not
faith
rote memory.
system.
They have factual.
I believe
and
it because I
logical
believe it.
support to their belief system.
That's
the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's really that's where you and I have a lot of agreement on.
Mm-hmm.
And but the birth of the show, or the of my philosophy about love and respect are I hate to use the word trumping. It trumps political differences. So this is what we've lost as a society. What motivated me for the show, and why I want to bring it home, because we do the show every week. And we shoot the breeze, and I'm like, I just want to make sure everybody. Reason why I'm doing the show is because I want in your personal relationships to other people, make it about the love and respect of the differences, rather than saying I can't tolerate your view and therefore you're marginalized and I will not deal with you and I'm going to punch you from my life.
Right.
And this is the trend that's been happening. I've heard this from like dozens of people. I'm sure you have too. Like, I used to have this friend from high school or my colleague, whatever. They won't even talk to me anymore because they know I voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with my children. So I have no problems with my children believing what they do. And they don't understand that I have no problems with it. They think my belief differently from them disqualifies me as a human being to have a relationship to them.
Yeah.
And I think over time that'll fix. So I'm not going to pressure it other than creating the show and telling every week.
That's okay. They don't
That they
listen
screwed
anyway.
up. Right.
They didn't listen. They don't listen anyway, so it doesn't.
Right. So, anyway, with that all being said, we're going to shift gears now.
Ooh, we are.
We think it's hilarious how people think differently on moral dilemmas. Right? I mean, it's you and I, Jason, because we know how we think about certain fundamental issues. We kind of are attuned to each other on that.
Sure.
But there are a lot of people who think vastly different.
Sure.
So we were talking before the show, like, oh, let's talk about politics, this and that. We're like, why don't we just create a show where we just pose moral dilemmas,
Let's do it.
and we'll get Serge involved. Like, what do you do when X happens?
Okay,
Are we ready?
let's go.
There's a game called Scruples, based on this concept, and we decided to. Well, I decided because I have a better iPhone than your
Crappy Samsung
Samsung.
something 9.
No, you don't believe in that. Serge hates iPhones.
No, iPhone's trash.
Trash. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was able to download Scruples when he was not.
Oh,
And so we're going to be able to play a little bit of Scruples, which is our moral dilemmas. And if anyone,
It's a great way to find
show,
people's
if our
insight
audience
without
is
having
watching
to
the
talk
show,
about-
or anyone, I don't care. You catch it later, and you want to try to get in touch with me somehow. Chime in on what you think is
Go on
the right
Facebook
answer
and leave
to
a
these
comment.
moral dilemmas.
Go on Facebook,
Are
leave
we
a
ready?
comment. There you go.
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, first question. Are you ready, sir?
let's go.
You got to pay attention because you're going to help us in
Very
the show.
moral. I'm moral. Let's
Okay.
go.
He is.
Serge,
What's up?
I'll pose it to you.
Let's go.
You hire
All right.
someone who is extremely good at their job.
Good. Okay.
They're extremely competent.
All right.
They do exactly what you tell them. They're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Months later, you learn that they misrepresented their credentials to you
That's fine.
in their application, in their interview, and everything. They're a liar.
Okay.
Do you fire them?
Have they killed anyone?
That's awesome.
Has anyone
Well, no,
has
no.
anyone
In
been
my
hurt? Has
simple
anyone been
hypothetical,
has anybody
I
been
haven't
hurt?
gone into whether they've contributed to the decimation of society.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just asking.
I mean, if they just lied on the resume to get the job, of course, I'm with it because they want the job. I'd rather have somebody who's
All
going
right,
to do whatever they
I-
can to get the
Can
job.
I do some like give
Yeah.
and take with you?
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you lose faith in them in any respect?
No,
Why?
just because if they're doing a great job, why should I worry about that they lied on the resume? If they can do the job,
Don't
they
you
show
worry
them-
at some point they may turn against you because they're liars?
If they
Or
do,
might-
then they're gone.
Okay. Jason.
I hold a very similar view, but not for the same reasons that Serge does. First of all, the first question is, you mentioned that they're competent. I assume if they're competent, they're making me money.
Yes.
All right. So that's key. As a small business owner,
right.
I have a bottom line to make.
You
but
fucking capitalist.
I am. But I
Monster.
would
Imposter.
not necessarily put a formal probation on this person, but I would probably call that person in and have a very serious conversation with them about,
Why would you be motivated to lie?
let me tell you what I have found out. Let me tell you why that disappoints me. I'm going to give you a second chance. And
Time
that's
out. Just half a second. Half a second.
I like that idea.
Would you have done the same?
Yeah.
Because you were like,
I would have done
"Ah."
the same. I didn't think about it at the moment, but yeah, obviously I'm like, yo, why'd you lie? But-
Continue.
Yeah, so my goal would be to remedy that situation. We don't know why that person made that decision, and we could probably discuss it. Let's say he's a
felon.
thank you. I was actually going to say. Let's say he's a former felon, and he doesn't think if he's truthful he's getting that job, but he knows he's good at it. Now, if he's a child molester and I find out, I mean, there are certain things, right? There are certain things.
So absolutes.
But
Right.
but let's just say, you fudge. We're not talking about drastic, we're talking about just misrepresentations. It would be something I would address. I'd be like, look, I found out you said you were the first of your class out of Navy. Turns out you're the last in your class at
Podunk
High School.
right.
But I would want to be like, look, I understand. But however, regardless of your,
performance.
and I guess every person will be different, but your performance shows that you have potential. I'm going to give you a shot. I will be being more closely watching your work. I will be making sure that you're going to be honest with me. And if I see anything in the future, I will terminate you without cause.
This is intriguing because you have to balance the time you bring this up to the employee.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not now they feel they're under the microscope when before they were maximizing their effort to please you.
Sure, but
because all you had until that moment was awesome conduct that's making me money.
right, sure, and the employer that just lets that ride is actually quite selfish. The employer that brings it on is putting it in the forefront, taking it out from being a lie. I bet you that employee feels a little bit of relief. He's like, "Oh crap! I don't
have to work a lot.
I don't have to worry about this lie anymore." He can give him the chance to apologize, right? I mean, there's a lot of following things that have to happen, but don't you create the opportunity? I got a really good example, so try not to interrupt me again. Joking, just teasing. So, do you not create an opportunity? Do you not? I'm going to be very, very quiet. I'm going to punch this guy
Right in the face.
I'm just joking. Do you not create an opportunity to build trust that didn't exist before, or rebuild trust that may not have existed? So he knows you know. Now your relationship can be repaired on something stronger, and I liken it to disciplining a child. Just because the kid took the cookie out of the cookie jar doesn't make him a bad kid. It just means he thought he could get away with it, and he was looking at
it's a learning moment.
It was a learning moment. So the parent has to choose. Now, if the parent takes that kid and whips them into oblivion and makes them feel like crap, you've lost an opportunity. But the parent who says, well, look, here's an entire jar of cookies, eat them all, or something else, right?
By the way, short aside, this is all about making your kid feel appropriately guilty to affect their behavior in the future. It's actually an effective mechanism.
I'm not going to put a label on it. I think it's I always think it's a learning moment. It's not about feeling guilty.
No, it's a learning moment. No, I know. Okay.
All right. Well, I don't want to get bogged down on semantics.
Right. Go ahead.
I think the point is it's an opportunity to grow.
Yes.
Every mistake has every person who makes a mistake has a right of redemption. And if that person comes into my office and then says, fuck you, I don't care, I lied because I knew you were a scumbag and I was going to take as much as I could, then he's not sorry and he's gone. If he says, mea culpa, I'm so very sorry, I didn't mean...
they affect their behavior moving forward.
Yeah, now if they turn around and they start being crappy, then... But I think I like the question. I don't think the lie on the resume is the view into their soul. I think the view into their soul is how they do their job. I think you've got a misstep, a stumble that, and of course it depends on every situation, but I would be willing to give the benefit of the doubt and an opportunity for redemption.
Right. I appreciate the answer. It's actually well thought out, and I know you always give a well thought out answer, Chase.
Thanks.
All right, but in my local politics, because I'm from Temple Terrace, we had, and it's been in the news, so I'm not outing anybody, but we had a mayor that was elected that had been proven to have lied about her background and got elected. And so the electorate was split. Oh, I think she's perfectly a good person. She's a great leader. She's competent. She's intelligent. She can be our mayor. The other people in spite of all that, in spite of her,
she's a liar.
she's a liar. I don't want someone who uses a fake resume or a fake degree to get the position to be in the position. I just won't tolerate it. And it's kind of a moral divide, right? Okay. I take it from your answer. As long as they understand when they're working for me and they're performing well, that they understand that moving forward in my relationship to them, it's no longer about lies and deceit. You got this far by lying, but moving forward, we're on the same page. We addressed it. We know you misrepresented something. I know you did it to get the job to prove yourself, but now you've proven yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move forward from there.
It's probation.
That's a great way to put it. Okay. That's to you. I mean, because it's. I love this.
But
question.
your example of the electorate though is a little bit different, and it's a fair consideration, but it's not a fair representation of that question, because that question is for one person to make a decision. Essentially, what you've done to an electorate is you've got 5,000 people making 5,000 individual decisions, and the majority rules, right?
Yeah,
But
that's true.
but in a business, there's a boss who makes that decision. In an electorate, there are 5,000 bosses, and it's a majority of those 5,000. So your example is fair, but it's a reflection on exactly what the problem is. There are people who are going to answer that question differently. You might fire them on the spot. I might give them a chance.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Awesome.
Okay, ready?
I love that question. That was great.
If I can.
Me and
figure
Serge
out-
agreed with each other.
Yeah. All right.
See, I'm not a prick.
All right, are you ready for this one? Because this is all new. This is all brand new to us.
I'll
We didn't practice this, Jason?
We did not. No, we did not practice this.
The family dog,
Oh, he's going right in the ground. I'm gonna fucking bury him.
because without mentioning a person's name, there was an individual very close to Jason. Not a dog person.
Ooh,
And for a good reason. For a really good reason.
I can only imagine because my
But
mind
anyway,
is
anyway, the family dog has a bad cough. A visit to the vet will cost $150
A 50
that
cent
you
bullet.
cannot afford.
A 50-cent bullet, baby, right in the brain.
That you cannot afford.
See ya. That was easy.
Do you
Next
take
question.
the dog anyway to the vet?
No. I'll equate it to the guinea pigs. There was a moment in time last year with our guinea pigs, and my daughter was like, "Oh my God, we had two at the time." I have a whole other story about guinea pigs we're not going to get into today, but unless you ask me, and then I will tell you. But last year we had two guinea pigs, and one of them got sick. And guinea pigs, as they get older, have really weird circumstances. Like when they are really about to die, they start dragging their hind feet,
Oh,
and
so
they wander
so
around.
it's
And
like the Walking
so he
Dead-
was like,
Walking Dead
this
guinea
this
pig.
particular one, so sweet, and unfortunately just wasn't going to make it. And unfortunately, after a week of nursing and opportunities, it expired. Before it expired, Rio was like, "We need to take him to a vet." I am not taking a
Rio,
five.
who's
I'm-
Rio?
Oh, Rio is my daughter. Sorry, I shouldn't have
How
said
old
her
was
name.
she at the time?
I don't know. Does it matter? She's a little girl.
She was 37.
She
How
was
old was
37 and a half.
she? Come on. Bring it to the audience. How,
37
how
and a half
cute
months.
I don't
and
know.
lovely was she?
She
at
is
the
super awesome.
Okay.
She was probably 10 or 11.
Okay, there you go.
I really don't know how old I don't even know how old she is now.
You keep pumping him out. You know?
Stop.
track.
I'm good. I'm just good. Silver bullets, baby. And she's like, "We need to take him to a vet." And I'm like, a 5-cent guinea pig is not getting a $300 vet visit.
Walking dead.
Sorry. I mean,
Yes.
I will do my very best
I've
to
been
care,
through this.
but
Guinea
no,
pig, The
not a
Walking
guinea
Dead.
pig. Not a guinea pig.
Okay.
So anyway, the dog might be a little different because dogs tend to get a loving family. I think dogs, generally speaking, that question depends on how you've cared for that dog up until that point. If the stray dog walks off my yard and he has a bad cough, that dog is not going anywhere. He's not coming into my house. He's not even, he's not allowed to sleep in my driveway. So it's a relative question, and I'm the worst person because I got about 1.3 acres I could bury that effer, and no one would ever know he was there.
buried alive.
All right. Is that the end of your answer?
Yeah, that's it. He's dead.
Surge.
I would break myself for for a dog. I have. So yeah, absolutely. I
So
took Karma
you-
to the vet. I probably
You
got
would
like
whatever you have to do to get the dog to
$2,000
the
worth
vet.
of- yeah.
Whatever you have to do to get the dog to the vet,
Yeah,
the dog's going to the
absolutely.
vet.
absolutely.
Okay, there's no like, it's just a dog.
No, I have a soul.
Jason,
But dogs don't.
So
Dogs
based on
don't have
Jason's
souls.
answer,
So
did Jason have a soul?
I didn't say I am not.
I
saying
have
that
a
he
soul,
doesn't.
but the dog does not.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll find out what page
All
of
right,
the
next
catechism that's
question. Let's
on.
move on.
Sometimes I'm starting to
Let's
think that
move
we're
on.
the only
But
beings
wait,
on
wait,
the
I need
planet
to answer.
that
I
don't
need to
have
answer.
You can
right?
answer.
Yeah,
I need
what
to
would you do?
answer.
I'm
You know
looking
how
at-
I'm going to
you do that
answer?
while
I'm
we're
going to move on.
What was wow. Richard.
Next question.
Richard would because he was looking for somebody to come watch the dog.
All right. Listen, next question. Ready?
Go, yeah.
As a website designer,
Okay.
you will offer top money to design a porn site.
Oh boy.
Do you take the job? Serge, I'll start with Serge on this one.
Absolutely. As long as it's not including child porn. Every other porn, absolutely. Absolutely.
Any other kind of porn?
Any other kind of porn. Anything,
Any
but,
other kind of
anything
porn.
but child porn.
Okay.
I will make a grip. Do you know how much money
Can you
porn
list
industry makes?
everything that's not child porn? That's porn?
I don't know. I haven't looked at porn in a really
We're
long
not
time.
having any child porn conversations here.
No child porn.
Verboten.
No, all right. Moving on.
What
you
would
wouldn't
you
even
do?
answer the question then.
Nothing. You wouldn't.
We're
You wouldn't
moving
build
on?
a website.
Yeah, that's a big no.
Really?
I don't.
All right, let's move on because it may probably more interesting questions.
It's interesting. That is an interesting.
I
All right.
I like being married more than I like having.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
so
wouldn't you be married?
So I'm going to start every question
I
with
am
Serge.
married, and there is no.
I'm going to
porn in
start
my
every
business.
question
Oh.
with asking Serge first, just to save your marriage.
yeah, but no.
No, that's fine.
But the thing is, it's
what's
like,
this bullshit? He
why-
gets. Why does he get to steal my answers?
Can I
no,
ask-
I
All
want my
right,
turn.
I'll pose
Can
it
I
to
ask
both of
him a
you.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
what
please
does
do.
being married have to do with you building a website for porn people?
Then you don't know marriage.
Yeah, no, it's not. It isn't about my marriage. It's
Yeah.
about my faith.
It's not like you're okay. So
No,
it's
and
not like you're
if-
looking at it. You're just building the actual.
But if I'm okay, if I'm building a website that is making me money based upon immorality, I'm committing a sin in my faith, and so it's really not about my marriage.
Oh.
It's about my faith.
Okay.
But when my wife finds out about it, then she's going to cut my
Then she's
balls
gonna
off,
divorce
and then
you.
it's also about my marriage, right? So
It's a trickle down theory.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
trickle down.
It is.
It's like one point I don't get to go to heaven. On the other hand, I don't get to sleep in my bed. And
Yes,
you know,
and
I like
that
both.
ain't heaven either.
I like both of those.
All right. All right. Next question.
What about you, Richard? Would you build a porn
No,
site?
no.
You wouldn't build a porn site.
Yes, he would.
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
Done. Next
I
question.
can answer that question for Richard.
Yes.
Next question. Is there profit? Shit. Okay. Next question. All right. You hit it off with someone you. Oh, I hate this question already.
Oh, let's go.
Oh. Is it to me?
You hit it off. No, it's not to you. It's
Yeah, 'cause you
specifically not to you.
Not to you.
When you hear the rest of the question,
Oh,
it's-
Okay,
That's all.
let's go.
It's all.
you
Serge.
hit it off, Surge,
Yep.
with someone you met on Tinder.
Okay. We already
When you meet for drinks,
not relatable at all.
When you meet for drinks,
Not really. I'm not you. I don't.
But let the record reflect. Counsel Jason
Just walked away.
Ricardo walked away.
For the record,
For the record. All right, so Surge,
because I'm not you, I can't put lawyer.
you hit it off with someone you met on Tinder. When you meet for drinks, she mentioned serious allergies
Okay.
that rule out ever eating together at a restaurant.
Okay.
Do you dump this person immediately?
Yes.
You want to elaborate?
I don't want to put her in a position where I can kill her, Richard.
Well,
And if we
How
can't go
lovely
out
is
to
that?
eat together, you know how horrible that's going to be? You know how horrible it is now when you're dating someone and you say, hey, what do you want to eat? And they're like, I don't know.
Well-
Now, can you only imagine?
all right. So I have a very similar answer to you,
There you go.
which is the exact same answer. It's so similar.
I don't want to kill her.
No.
And plus, we're not going to be
No,
able to, like, what can we do?
no. I love being out and being among
Yeah.
a crowd and enjoying a good meal. And if you're going to think you're going to die because you're with me, fuck it. Why am I with you? Done.
But also that, you guys can't really eat the same things, which means you would
No.
have to go pick up something for
All right.
you and then go to a place with her.
Oh, that's
and-
easy. I'm going to move
no.
on to the next
It wouldn't.
question.
It's yeah, you got to be compatible.
Okay. Surge,
What's up? I like this game.
you are waiting in line for a cup of coffee.
Okay, I'll switch
All
that.
right, you got to presume.
Dr. Pepper, but go
Right.
ahead.
The cashier
Thank you.
and a customer
All right.
are chatting up too long of a storm.
Ooh, I hate this.
Do you ask them to hurry the fuck up?
So that's what it says. It says hurry
No,
the
no,
fuck up.
no.
Okay, I'm like, wow.
I would say the old me would be like, yes, you need to hurry up.
You
But
had
the
an old
new
you?
me- yeah,
What
the old me
what
was-
the old you? No.
The old me was the guy that was working in the 9 to 5, trapped in this. I have to be here at this time. I
Move
gotta
along,
take
people,
lunch.
like,
yeah, I
get
got
with
lunch.
it.
I got a 30-minute lunch, and you guys are taking 10 minutes to talk now. The new me, I believe everything happens when it's supposed to. So go ahead, enjoy your conversation.
Okay.
Oh, I
Do
want
you-
the question. I
Wait,
want
when
the
that happens, do you feel relaxed?
Absolutely.
Or do you still feel
I've-
like
well, I catch myself getting
I'm
agitated.
gonna... Gotcha. Okay.
It happens
That's
a
what I
lot
was
at the
getting
grocery
at.
store. A lot at the
Okay.
grocery store checkout line.
You want to hear the whole question now? Because you
I
came
want
back
the
in the
question.
middle of it.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
didn't hear it.
Yeah, you can get in on
You are
this.
waiting in line for a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm. Not at Starbucks.
You're waiting in line for your favorite cup of coffee.
Yeah, your favorite.
Ooh, Circle K.
I'm going to change it a little bit
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make it work, right?
I'm at Circle K
super
now.
favorite.
Thank you.
The cashier and a customer are chatting up a storm.
Okay.
Do you ask either one of them to hurry the fuck up?
Okay. First, I would like to apologize to the court for exiting the courtroom during evidence.
That's okay.
I had to tinkle.
Sustained.
So you
I
deposited
did not leave.
other evidence.
I did not. That's disgusting. I did not leave because of the question. I just took the opportunity knowing I wasn't going to answer. Anyway, to this question. Would I be irritated beyond F? Yeah. Beyond F. Would I say anything? Not likely.
Would you look like?
Oh, I would look. Oh, and
were agitated.
and see,
Well,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna expound on this. So at Circle K, they have the little thing that says, "How was our service today?" And it has the little rating.
one?
I'm
So
hitting
you
the-
know you're.
one.
I'm
Wait,
like, I'm
that's
gonna
not
roll-
some hypothetical Circle
gonna be-
K.
I'm
It's an
gonna be-
actual Circle K.
I'm gonna be curt.
Okay.
I'm gonna give her my money. I'm not going to be very nice, and then I'm giving her a 1, and I'm getting the F out. But no, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, will you please hurry up?"
No,
I'm just going to
This
be
is where, can I? I'm going to give my
passive
opinion.
aggressive. I'm going to be
I
passive
admire you, Serge.
That's what Alfie does.
Serge,
Alfie's
because
real
I've
passive
become
aggressive.
you.
Alfie will be like,
I've become you. I used to be you.
the
Jason,
breathing.
Until a year or two ago, I was you on that. Recently, I've become. You know what?
Old.
You know what? No. It's all. It's happening for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm only being delayed maybe 30 seconds to a minute.
yeah.
Like I get it the moment. I'm actually in between. I'll feel you, and then immediately go to Serge's mentality. Don't make it a big deal.
Well, okay. What I love about these questions is that it does trigger some. They're written so well because 30 seconds to a minute isn't a big deal to me.
Right.
All right. So when you say it like that,
Wait. So what is the question?
I mean,
say?
it doesn't say like for. But if it's like a long
Yeah, if
period
they're
of time,
talking,
at some
talking.
point you're like, okay, move it along. I mean, I don't mind.
It
Like,
says chatting up a storm.
That
That's why
happened to
it's
me the
worded-
other day.
That's why it's worded that way.
But I
Not-
th- but I think
not
it's
chatting
important.
up a minute.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
do think it's important. So like if you're in the busiest Starbucks in Manhattan and there's a line around the corner and they're chatting it up, you might say, "Hello, there's 20 people behind us."
Oh, because
If
you're
in the-
magnanimous to the.
But if you're in the middle of downtown, your favorite hometown, and Sarah the barista is talking to her neighbor Charlie, and you don't know them directly, but you know who they are, and you're certainly not going to be rude to
Right.
them, you might be like, they're just being
All right,
chummy.
so I agree
So
with
it's
no, that's what the beauty of the question is, right?
the beauty of the question is that so it just depends on where.
But
But,
it-
if I'm in my average Circle K where I'm like I am on the road, I'm headed to a hearing, I'm not here to hear your life story. I'll be irritated.
But I'm gonna play just for shits and giggles.
Oh, it's giggles. I love
Okay.
giggles and grins.
If you go into a Circle K, 7-Eleven, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and like you're in a hurry, and you think service should be just quick because you just order a drink and shouldn't be any discussion, okay? It doesn't matter to you whether you're in Podunk or you're in New York City. does it. Like you got to get to your place,
Yeah, it's been.
Okay.
I think
right? So
it matters.
So there's an interesting thing about this question, which is,
But-
is it a moral question or is it situational?
It's situational because I'm going to give you a quick example, and it reminded me as you were talking. In my downtown, my small city Walmart, we used to have a person that was a checkout, and she would chat you up. She chatted up every person, but she was almost like a little off, like her IQ wasn't all there.
Right?
So she wasn't having a conversation with you. She was just having a conversation with the air. Okay? And people would be very understanding. And I remember that. Now, here's the reality. Not getting in that line. When I saw her, I'm like, not getting in that line.
that one.
Going over there. Not because not that I was going to be rude to her. I
No.
would have never said a thing.
No, not
because
that
I
you're against the mentally retarded
Because I
or anything.
knew she had some sort of issue that caused her to be that way. And she
No, I
thought she
get
was
it.
being super nice. She thought she was being
Right.
super nice.
But you're concerned about your time more
and I'm like, I'm going
than,
over
like-
here to the asshole
More than being nice.
than the nice
No,
person.
but that happens time to time in people.
It's
so that's the point he's
situational.
making.
It's situational.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Because when you're going out, like I have like 3 hours to kill, but I need to get like razors, and you're in line at a Walmart, and someone's chatting it up like, I can wait another 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Right? Like
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
No.
But when you're like, I got a hearing to get
I mean,
to, and my
I'm gonna be
client's
late,
right,
and I'm
or
ready
My
to- and I-
client's waiting in my office, or
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. That's
It's
what
all
I get.
situational.
All right. So next,
Not everything.
we're done.
There can't be.
No, there's more. That's only
It's
5.
not letting me go to the next one.
Because I won.
You got to get the full
It said I
version.
won. Look at it. It
You
says
get the free
Jason
version?
won.
Yeah, looks like I got it.
The free. That was only
Restart
like
it.
30 minutes of. That was only 30 minutes of show.
Oh, I'm waiting for another player to answer. It's just like waiting for a
What do
player
you
to
mean?
answer.
Somebody's going to answer there?
Oh,
yeah,
you're
'cause-
actually putting answers in. I think it hurt us,
Yeah.
and I think it wants a yes or a no.
All right, but I'm going to dilute. I'm going to delete and start the game over.
There you go.
Scruples online game. Let's see. I'm going
Plot
back.
Twist gives us the same questions.
Just with various. Amazon.com. A question of scruples. The game of Limits. Apple.com apps.
It's not letting me do it.
Scruples board
I don't
game
want
questions.
dead air. No dead air.
Right.
Oh, here we go. I found people who've posted pictures. So
Okay.
let's break trademarks. Okay, let's see.
It's waiting for me to get like something, and I can't move on.
Is it? I'm just putting.
This is
I'm pulling
pissing
up
me
a
off.
random question. Here we go. Ready? I'm trying to get there.
I'm going
What's
to do a
going on? Do
random
you have
Google
crappy-
question.
Yeah, do a random like moral question so we can move this
Trying
along.
to get there. Here we go. Okay. Richard.
Yes, sir. I almost said ma'am.
Thanks. The fish have not been biting all day. You finally land one that is 1 inch under the official limit. Do you throw it back?
I'm in some sort of tournament.
No. Have you ever not?
I'm in some sort of
Okay,
law.
doofus, there's a fishing license, and you're not allowed
I
to take
understand, but
you're
I'm
not
just
allowed to
saying-
bring a
Wait,
grouper
the
that's
reason why I asked
39
about it-
inches. It has to be 40 inches.
Listen to the reason why I asked the question.
Okay.
There is fish and wildlife license, like the police,
the people you're afraid
right?
of.
The police, right? And they're like, you may be like in some sort of competition, right? So if you're like an inch below the competition, it's not a law enforcement issue. Do you kind of like fudge it?
You
to
get
make-
this, but you get disqualified.
if they discover it, but you're not going to get.
How is a competition
You're
not going to
no,
discover it? They're going
I'm posing the dilemma to
There's
the
no
rest of the
dilemma.
audience.
Your dilemma is dumb.
The
Your
dilemma
dilemma
to the
is
rest
like-
of the audience that my co-host says is dumb is that if you're in a setting other than like a law enforcement setting, do you like push the envelope a little bit by that 1 inch and say I got a qualifying catch, or if it's a law enforcement issue, do you say I don't want to risk it? Because if you're in a fishing tournament, it's just nothing. It doesn't involve law enforcement.
Yeah, but you get
And you
disqualified.
realize you may get disqualified, but the remedy isn't you're being jailed or fined.
Okay.
You're just disqualified from the tournament.
Okay, so you don't mind breaking the rules if it
I'm
doesn't
just
require
saying,
punishment.
This is the dilemma I'm posing to the audience, not me.
Oh, you just said that. So you're
Me.
changing the question.
Yes. But that's what the beauty of
See, I
these
should ask
questions are.
Serge first. He would have given me a straight answer. What's the straight answer, Serge?
With the fish,
Yeah.
I don't fish.
Yeah. I wouldn't be there. So, it's not going to happen.
I wouldn't be there.
Me either. I've never
Hilarious.
All right, let's go to the next question. This next question is dumber
I got
than
one.
dirt. No, all right. Oh, yeah, go, Serge.
Okay. You are an eyewitness to a crime. A man has robbed a bank, but instead of keeping the money for himself, he donates it to the poor orphanage that can now afford to feed, clothe, and care for the children. You know he committed a crime, and if you go to the authorities, there's a good chance the money could be returned to the bank, leaving a lot of kids in need. What do you do?
So this is a Robin Hood situation.
Yep.
And I would probably report the crime.
Oh,
God, I love my co-host. I would do the same. I'm going to err on the side of getting to heaven. Really, that's a strict moral question.
getting to heaven?
No, I meant it
by
no,
giving
I don't
the
mean
money
it to
back
be
to the
frivolous.
people who
I meant
don't
it's a strict moral question. It's one of those strict moral questions.
Yeah, because this next one I'm going to read is not morals.
Let's go.
Garbage. Ready? I'm going to pose this one to Serge. After looking for work for 6 months, you get a good offer from a large weapons maker. Do you accept it?
Say that again?
Large weapons. You are after looking for work for 6 months. You get a good offer from a large weapons maker. Do you accept it?
Why are weapons bad?
Exactly. That's my.
It depends
my,
on
that's why
what
it's a
they're
garbage
using them
question.
for.
I don't even see the moral dilemma in the question.
There's no
Because it
moral
depends
dilemma.
on what they're using them for.
So weapons.
No,
are,
we're talking
the
about
persons
handguns.
who use it for bad is not your.
Yeah, but if,
should it
if
be?
this is like a handgun manufacturer, then yeah, cool, I'm with that. But if we're talking about missiles and all that other crap, no, I don't want no part of that.
All right, so in your moral standing, like the way you evaluate this, if I think
cops and robbers good,
Self-defense, essentially.
army bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I stepped on you. I'm sorry.
so, do you ask more questions before you take the job?
Probably,
basically,
yeah.
is where you're coming
Yeah.
down. Like, I don't want to take the job if.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be a boring game if you just said yes or no.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I appreciate your distinction. I don't agree with it, but because I would work for any weapons manufacturer.
The way I look at it I look at it as I'm taking a job as long as it's legal.
yeah, as long as it's legal.
So you
It's not-
support
no, wait.
killing people, but
No,
sex?
no. If I find something morally
Like-
morally reprehensible,
Weapons are
I'm not going to be the arbiter of what is necessarily what my employer believes is a moral or immoral behavior. But if I believe it's absolutely moral, I'm not even going to apply.
Okay.
But if I decide before I apply, this is something that falls under the radar where I'm not feeling like I'm compromising my moral ethics, I'll take it. As long as it's legal. Now, I know maybe other people will think, shit, Richard, you know what? You're killing people.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
I'm like, no, that's not my belief. I will fight them on it. Like, that's not me. I'm not killing people. The people who are using it for bad are killing people.
And I do think it. But I do respect your position. If it is an industry that is used immorally, yeah, I could see me taking a pass on that. I can't envision that because I don't actually believe weapons are immoral on their face.
Right.
So that's the distinction. But I think you tried to link it momentarily, and I accept your linkage, and I can argue it away, like the pornography. You just said sex is bad, but killing people is good, and that's not fair. But I'm not going to take your bait. What I'll simply state is this: pornography is not good, even though there are arguably no third-party victims, right? Although I disagree with that. Like the argument is that it's just a harmless crime it's not a crime. Sorry, it's a harmless act because it's between two consenting people. Okay, I don't agree with that because it harms families, it harms marriages, it harms relationships, it harms your psyche, it harms libidos, it harms a lot of things. But all that aside, I do think there is a legitimate question. So would I go to work for a large weapons manufacturer that only supplied Iran? No, I would not.
yeah. Well, Iran would use it for self-defense.
Come on.
Okay, whoa. Okay, next question.
Who's invaded who more?
Who's killed more Americans? Americans?
America
or
has
Iran?
killed more Americans.
Oh, I got one. Oh, this is a good one. Here we go.
Here we
I'm
go.
going to Rich. Rich is first on this
All
one.
right, shit. I got to pay attention.
I know his answer.
Let's go.
I know his answer already. The answer? Who wants to guess his answer? Yes or no? 50-50. Yes or no?
I got to know the question.
Oh, come on. You're no
got
fun.
another question.
You are offered $10,000 to appear nude as a centerfold in a national magazine. Do you accept?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that. No.
How much?
Good.
10,000?
10.
No.
No, it's not enough. $1 million, $10 million, $100 million. I mean, maybe for $100 million. Hey, kids, you will never have to work again. I'm going naked.
I might go 1 million.
Yeah, you know.
I might go 1 million.
Next
10,000.
question.
is
Next
like
question.
That wasn't very hard for me, though, was it?
nothing. No, you set the bar really low.
I saw your date. So anyway, someone extends her friendship.
Fucker. That asshole.
Oh my God.
Man.
Brutal.
Brutal.
All right. Okay, so someone extends his or her friendship, but you aren't interested. Later, you learn that this person is a legal wizard. You need legal advice desperately and have no money.
Ooh.
Do you call him or her?
Oh, that's
Well, okay, this is a
Good
great
one.
question. 'Cause
That
the
is a
answer is
great
yes,
question.
but you have to be.
How many
contrite
times have you been
and
the
be
victim
humble.
of that, though?
where you don't like
Yes.
somebody, you gave them help.
No,
anyway?
I get it, but I'm not rude to them. I get it, and like say I can't take your case for whatever reason. But if I'm the person on the other end, I would say, hey, I met you, and like I have a real problem, and I hope you can help me. I don't have, as long as I'm not overbearing, I'm not expecting them to help me.
So now, did they just shoot you? Like, hey, I want to be your friend. And you're like, no, and then the next week you get arrested.
Like, hey,
Is it
I
one of
was
those-
thinking maybe you could.
Maybe
Maybe we should go out golfing after I get out of jail.
Right.
Is that the type of scenario? Because that's the one I'm picturing in my head is you immediately shoot them down, and then a week later you get arrested. In
But
that
it's still
case,
not the attorney's problem. That's where we come down. Like, no,
Well, unfortunately, it's a tough
No,
question for us because we're like, we see
Yeah,
this, it's our profession already.
Wow.
So we're like,
wow, that's a good one. Because that's more of a pride issue at this point.
all right, but this next question,
It's a great question.
this question is the same question as the prior question, except it's got different context. You have a neighbor who owns a swimming pool. You don't much care for the neighbor. Do you act friendly to use the pool?
Yes, absolutely.
There you go.
this has got to be the biggest no-brainer of all
Absolutely.
time, right?
Is it hot out?
Right? No,
Yes.
do I despise him on a moral level because he's Hitler?
So
No,
Trump,
that wasn't the
so
question.
How
Trump,
big is
so
the
Trump
pool?
owes the pool.
If it was Trump's
So
pool,
Trump's got a
It's
pool.
Trump pool.
Trump's got a pool. Fuck you, man.
I would absolutely use Trump's pool, and I would pee in it.
No, but if it's just somebody I don't like, but like I can be neighborly too, I can do that.
I'd bring a
What
steak.
do you think, Jason?
I'd bring steaks. We're using the pool. I'll bring steaks. We can do that.
I try not to be fake.
I don't want to be fake.
Yeah,
I don't want
I
to be
wouldn't.
too fake. I guess what it boils down to
But
is
you don't
the
know what
level,
would happen.
the level
Well-
of fakeness.
Here's the deal. I have a pool, so there. F you and your crappy neighbor.
He's got this nice balcony and everything. But have I ever just glommed over to your house?
Yeah, he just walks up
That's
sometimes.
because I
He got
hate
his-
Okay, with the swimming trunks on.
That's why he invited me to be on the
Because
show.
I hate you that much. I hate you that much. I'm not coming over, man.
Aw,
All right, next
I'm
question.
hurt. What's another question? There we go. I'll find the next one. Oh, that's a crappy one. Too political timing. All right, blah, blah, blah. Serge, your friend has a scheme that he or she thinks will make a fortune.
Okay.
You think it's a bomb.
A bomb?
It will bomb. Sorry.
Oh.
It will bomb. Are you honest about your feelings?
I'll tell them. I'll be like, I don't think that's going to work, but I'm not going to tell you
right.
not to do it because just because I can't see what you can see doesn't mean what you're going to do isn't going to work.
Because you're just offering an opinion.
You know how many people
not
told
a
me,
fact,
radio,
right?
are you
That's a different
crazy?
opinion than fact, right?
I would want to have a conversation about that. I'd be like, look, I love you. I think that's a great. I understand why you think that. I'd like to hear why you think it'll be good, but I have some concerns, and these are my concerns. A friendship has a little give and take, and you're like, and maybe you come out of that, you're either like, yeah, that's a crappy idea, or like, that guy's a lunatic. I'm going to go make $1 million. Yeah, I would be honest,
It's
but
almost a similar question. I don't want to make it into like about like personal relationships and all, but I've had people in my life say, I'm going to go back to somebody I know was awful to me. Like, I'm going to make a decision because I had something I thought was good. I broke up, and it's awful. It was a disaster. But I think they're going to come back to me now and be better a person. Mm-hmm. And my view has always been the greatest predictor of future behavior is past behavior. It's very simple.
Fair.
Right?
Fair observation.
So don't put yourself in harm's way. But if you think your friend has a potential for a good idea, yet you think most people have been unsuccessful with it, are you going to be discouraging or are you going to say, I mean, that's kind of
well, I think one of the reasons why your friend may have told you is because maybe he wants your advice because maybe he trusts your outlook on life. Maybe he's looking for someone to poke holes, right? You want to know, is this a stupid idea? Do people really want to make their own teddy bears? Well, that sounds stupid, right? But then there's a lot of people who make money doing that. So
exactly.
You might want to bounce it off another person.
My next question.
And
I got one.
By the way,
I got to go.
and just
Okay, go ahead.
by the way, just for the record, your example was nothing like that.
No, I know.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
went on
this
a tangent.
is a good one. You're involved in a 2-car crash on your way to work one morning in which you accidentally hit and kill a pedestrian. As you get out of the car, you are intercepted by the woman who drove the other car, and she thinks that she hit and killed the pedestrian. You're not sure why she thinks she hit the person, but she is convinced, and there's only you and the woman. The other person you hit in the road is dead. There are no witnesses. What do?
I could not live with myself, and I confess I'm guilty.
You would
I could
tell
not live
her.
I could not live with myself. There's zero way I could live with myself.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I have to think that I would be the person that'd be like, no, that was really awful. I don't know.
Listen, woman, I'm sorry. I'm not like I'll dispense with all your belief. Like I did it.
Yeah,
I couldn't live with myself. I could not. That would be a zero. No, I couldn't do it.
no.
It's almost to me. It's almost too clear cut.
Yeah.
Make it a little more difficult for me next time.
She's 89 years old.
She's 89
or it's you.
and is having a heart attack.
You.
And she's having
You're going, hey, it's Serge.
And
No,
she's
you're
having a
going
heart
down,
attack.
Serge.
And she's having a heart attack.
What time is it?
I have no idea. It is 8:02.
All right. A couple more questions. It's kind of
All
cool. You're looking at like
I'm looking at this next one to see if
moral
it's worthy.
dilemmas.
See if it's worthy.
Okay.
Yeah, you need a good question, not some crappy your neighbor wants to swim in your pool question.
Oh, this is going to be terrible. Your family is vacationing alone on a private stretch of beach with no lifeguard. Your daughter and your niece, both 7, are best friends and eager to get into the water. You caution them to wait until the water calms, but they defy you and sneak away anyway. You soon hear screams of distress and find them both caught in a strong
it's a
current.
Sophie's choice question.
You are the only swimmer strong enough to save them, but you can only save one at a time.
I understand.
We had that. We had
Your niece is a very poor swimmer and likely won't make it much longer. Your daughter is a stronger swimmer, but only has 50% of chance of holding on long enough for you to make it back. Who do you save first?
All right, so I'm going to tell you reality versus like what people want to hear.
People,
The reality is I'm saving my kid.
yeah, obviously.
Right? You felt it was pretty obvious, right?
Well, I mean, your kid's a strong swimmer.
But it's still 50%. It's not a
It's
given.
50%, but the other chance, it's 100% chance that
No,
this kid runs around.
But I know what I say.
I told you guys.
What percentage? I don't know what percentage.
All right, here's the deal. I think this is what would happen, and I think this is actually probably what would happen more typically. I think most people are inclined to save their own child.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think most people know what's right. But I think what most people would do is try to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
And they all 3 die.
And
And then we hear the news story, like
there's
tragic.
a news story. 3 people died today. I like his answer.
No, but that's
I don't
actually
care.
not. That's the, all right.
That's what happens
So
most of the
can I
time.
dovetail
Because I
to
couldn't live
something?
with myself.
I'm going to dovetail
But
to
I
a-
couldn't let my daughter die, but then I couldn't. The guilt would. I would be like.
Yeah, you'd be
I
screwed.
would be like.
Either
I don't
way.
want to bring. I don't want to bring this audience down.
Oh no! Really?
No, seriously, I'm going to tell because you know this story.
Audience?
You
Yeah.
know this story. I'm just going to remind
only
you of
one.
it, Serge. Okay, because I told it back then.
Okay, let's go.
A couple or 3 Memorial Days ago, My son Noah, who was then
Christ.
17 years old,
Please don't do this.
because this is one of these moral questions.
Yeah.
Decided with 10 of his other friends to go up to this rock quarry in the Ocala area that was private property and marked as private property, but where you can sneak on
Yeah, of course.
to jump in and have fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he and his best friend Zach decided to go. They were going to be the ones to go down to the bottom of the rock quarry, while there were 9 others at the top of the rock quarry. They were going to inspect how deep the water was.
To make
and-
sure nobody breaks a leg.
Right. Okay. And in the water were these they're called hyacinths, which are basically lily pads that have deep roots that go to the bottom. Okay. So Zach jumps into the water, and and my son is on the shore. And Zach jumps into the water. He spreads out the hyacinths to create a pathway, so that their friends can jump into the rock quarry without them.
They
being
know
a
where to
problem.
land. Yeah.
Right. So he does that, and then it's time for him to swim back to the shore. When he's swimming back to the shore, there are more hyacinths to get between him and the shore. So he's trying to get through it, and he gets caught in the hyacinth to the point where he's going to drown. And he starts yelling to my son, "Help me, help me, help me, help me, help me." And my son jumps into the hyacinth where he could drown to and get caught. And he gets to Zach, grabs his waistband, but Zach's in a full panic.
Yeah.
Total full panic. And Zach is dragging him down
Oh, do you let him go?
to the point where he knows if he doesn't let him go, it's unlikely I can get him to the top, and we're both going to die.
Ooh.
It's an absolute true story.
Phew. I mean, I would tell him, dude, stop moving.
No, he yelled it. This was happening in real life.
Yeah.
You have a choice.
You got to save
Either
yourself.
to do it,
You're not going to die.
this is one of those things. Like maybe I have a 25% chance of success of bringing him back to the top.
But isn't that a typical lifeguard move where if the lifeguard is
Yes.
told that the
Let him go.
attempt to save would
Jeopardize your own
your own life, you are to
Let
walk
him go.
away, let it go?
Yes. Yes, that's how my son got through it because he went through therapy and learned all that.
Oh, it would be
Okay.
horrible, yeah.
But in the moment, this is the whole point of the questionnaire, right? In the moment, he's thinking to himself, I'm unlikely to survive if I don't let him go,
Yeah.
right? I'm unlikely to survive if I don't let him go. And if I let him go, I'm very likely to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares about the actual percentages, right? But that's a decision
Yeah.
you're going to make.
It's a snap decision.
Snap
anyway, yeah.
decision.
That's why I don't
this
go in
is
the
like a
water.
real life. So my son decided to save himself. Like I realized I can't save him. Like I might die, and let him go. And one of those like Hollywood movies, watched his best friend sink to the bottom.
Oh, no. Did he die?
Yeah,
Oh,
his friend died. He had to choose his friend over himself.
That's crazy.
The classic survivor's guilt stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he came to me like, what do I do, Dad? Like,
Yeah.
So I got him help, and everything's okay.
Holy crap.
But in that moment, and this is one of those classic like moral dilemmas. What do you do?
I don't even think that's a moral dilemma. That's more of a survival instinct.
No. The moral dilemma is he had to jump in first.
Yeah. Jumping in first is the moral dilemma.
Jump in first and say like, I know I'm putting myself in very big harm's risk. Because I would say the vast majority of people would say,
Now
I
they
can't
weren't
go in there.
Yeah,
they
most people
weren't-
wouldn't jump.
Yeah.
One question I have, and everything happened so quickly, so I don't want to overstate this, but they weren't the only two there.
There were like 9 other people on
Yeah.
the top of the race.
Nobody else went in the water.
Well, they'd have to jump like 30, 40 feet, and without yeah, no one else did jump. That's true, but it's a different scenario than being like you're like right there, you're watching
Yeah.
like. So I couldn't imagine.
I'm actually, I mean,
that's
I'm
true.
not without commenting at all about his decision, and I happen to think it was the right decision. But part of me wonders why there weren't others that went in for the opportunity to aid.
I think part of it, from Noah's perspective, he recognized it was more of an emergency.
No.
Wait,
I don't doubt Noah's reason for jumping in. I'm
Let
wondering,
me
why
finish.
didn't other people?
Let me finish.
Okay.
From Noah's perspective, he felt it was more of an emergency that he had to jump in right away.
Mm-hmm.
Those people who are above are like,
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay. They didn't understand.
Right, they didn't understand the real drama that was
Okay,
involved.
that's important to
Okay.
know. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's wild.
Wow, you didn't want to bring us down, but you just
way to
gonna-
way to
when I
land
get
this
home,
plane.
I'm having the
saying, we're
biggest
doing
glass of
these, like,
bourbon.
These
Thanks.
food for thought stuff, and like it shit can happen to real people.
Yeah, it really
right?
can.
Yeah,
Well, it's the same thing about a car accident and a car's on fire. You go in there and try to save the person.
yeah, and worry about yourself getting caught in the own. Yeah.
All right, so I had a. It could have been different. It didn't turn out that way, but my son and I were driving to the DMV for his road test, and we were pulling into the DMV, literally half a second into pulling to the driveway for the road test, when we get hit at 60 miles an hour at 8:30 in the morning by a heroin addict that passed out
course.
at the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, just totaled my car, and we got pushed through the DMV parking lot. We ran over a sign, destroyed. Like it was a bad scene. I thought, like, okay. In the moment, after our car stopped, like 100 yards later, we got slammed. I realized that the person that hit us had veered off and slammed into another car, and there was another scene like happening. And I'm fine. Well, I ended up being slightly injured, but at the moment I'm having adrenaline. I don't feel like there's a problem. Do you run over? This is one of those moral dilemmas. Do you run across a busy highway to rescue the person that just hit you? Or do you say, I'm going to stay safe and let the rescue team come here and let them handle it? Because I saw the person that hit me hit another car. I'm like, that person's in trouble. And I'm like,
I can't answer that question, directly. But I have experienced something that might be interesting. So, when I was a new prosecutor up in Pensacola, Jill and I were dating, and Jill came up for a weekend.
you mentioned Jill.
You're gonna get me in
You
trouble.
let that
aren't you?
slide right by too.
I don't know who that woman is, but that woman who came up to visit with me in Pensacola.
Yes. The best thing that ever happened to you, Jill?
The best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay, there we go.
So we were coming back. It was actually, I believe it was Good Friday, because I think it was Easter weekend. I want to think it was Easter weekend. It was Good Friday, and we came upon a scene where a drunk driver had hit another vehicle. And my wife then Jill entered and attempted to give aid to the girl who was injured in the victim, and she ended up surviving the scene, but eventually being removed from life support several days later. But then we had tried to attempt to attend to the drunk driver, and he didn't need immediate medical attention because he was fine, quote unquote, quote fine. But I will tell you, it was definitely hard to feel any sympathy and any like that gut desire to get in there and help him. I wasn't there, and he was trashed out of his skull. It was like his third DUI. This ended up being a DUI fatality. I ended up being
That's a tough one.
and I
So
ended up
we
being.
can toss
I was
the
a
moral dilemmas
prosecutor.
about
I
it,
was a
right?
prosecutor, and I ended up being a witness in that case. I got deposed. It was all crazy, but the feeling at the scene was that guy's a bastard.
Let him suffer.
We didn't do that. He didn't need to. He didn't need attention.
No, but
so
you're-
it ended up
you
not
would've
being a
gone-
guilt. But it would have been hard to render aid.
That's a great moral dilemma too.
And she ended up dying.
I know Serge would have.
And that was, by the way, this was
This
an accident. This was an accident before we had airbags across everything. If there would have been airbags, like her brother was driving a Lexus, and this is in 1997-ish. So think about that. So the driver's side had the airbag, but there wasn't a passenger side airbag. Had there been a passenger side airbag, she would have lived.
This is just before we did Paisanos.
Yeah, I was in. It was my job before I went to.
Right before we met at Butler, Burnett, and Pappas.
Right. So another interesting story, totally unrelated to this. So 2 days ago, I have a hearing in front of a judge in Pensacola, and I get on the line, and I don't know anything other than his last name, and his name's like Smith, right? It's like a common enough name. I'm not making it up. I know his name. I'm not going to share it. And his name is Common. His last name is Common, and I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, it was a Zoom call, but it was an audio-only Zoom call.
Okay. For
whatever reasons, the court only don't do video up there. And he's like, I said, "Good morning, Your Honor, Jason Ricardo. I'm here for the defendant." He's like, Mr. Ricardo, you used to work up here, didn't you? I'm like, yes, sir. I said, I was a prosecutor until like 19. He goes, we worked together downstairs in the misdemeanor division. And then I read his name, the whole name, like, wow! And I was like, it was so weird.
I rest my case.
At this point, it was a motion to withdraw.
Okay.
And it was a really interesting conversation though, because it was weird because you want to be like all, hey, what's going on? And on the other hand, you're like, oh, Your Honor.
Right. It
was fun. Anyway.
All right. The show is
Conservative Parents
with Liberal Kids. It is originally about, that politics is not as important as love and respect. Prioritize yourselves. We live in a polarized society. Get a grip. We all have relationships with loved ones that think differently than you. It's okay. It's okay. Agree to disagree. Move on. Continue to love and respect. Jason, what do you do?
I'm an attorney with the law firm of Ricardo and Waslick. We help consumers get out of jams with foreclosures and credit card debt, and we're at ricardolaw.com.
All right, I'm Richard Myers of the Myers Firm PA, www.myersfirm.com, MEYERS, firm.com. For most of my legal career, when I started out on my own, I've done employment law-related cases. Over the last year and a half or so, I've been doing more and more divorces. I'm kind of enjoying it, so I'd like more and more of those type of cases. I do high-conflict divorces. I partner with another law firm called Tampa Mediations with Brendan Baetto. Look me up, find me, hire me. I'm going to do a good job. We actually, Brendan and I actually will give you a hourly rate that is fair for two lawyers, and you get the benefit of basically a law firm in your corner at every turn of the case, without having to feel like you're compromised. So
I get 10 seconds and you get a minute and a half.
It's my show, bastard.
So it goes.
I'll remember that. All right. I better go I'm going to go
maybe
write a
next
script.
time. Maybe next
write
time.
a script.
Anyway, it's all about love and respect.
Yeah,
brother.
baby.
I love and respect you, brother. Okay. All right, Conservative Parents with Liberal Kids. Tune in next week. We'll be here with some more moral dilemmas.
Good night.
All right, good night.
Let's drop a bomb on the liberals today. Let's drop a bomb and blow them all away. We don't need those crazy kooks. We put up a fan too long. Let's drop a bomb and prove that they were wrong.
Thank you all for tuning in to Conservative Parents with Liberal Kids. We'll be back on Friday, Thursday. Thursday, I got Vent Room. You already know what it is. You take it easy!